Chapter 4, Part 2. Welcome home, Ash. In previous episode, we have seen Red is having thoughts over Ash coming home. Right now, he's on to the road or to nowhere. So let's see what's going to happen now.
Red kicked a stray rock and it bounced away from him. He reached the rock again and gave it another hash kick. He wasn't really off to see Green. His former rival was in Radiant City, taking care of Radiant City Gym. It would have been his, though he gave up that position to Green. Red didn't need it. He wanted to continue on his Pokemon journey. But now that he is the champion of Kanto, there really isn't anything to do. He pretty much lives on top of Mount Silver in the damn cold. Why he continues to wear the same black t-shirt, red vest and jeans every day, whilst he stood there and waited for a strong opponent beats him. It surprised him that he hasn't gotten sick either. During his day off, he would go into one of the nearby city and ask Nurse Joy to give him a blood test to see he could be some sort of alien. Turns out negative every time. The young man mindlessly walked to wherever his feet took him. He didn't bother to check his surroundings. Nothing happened much in Pallet Town. He heard pigeons chirp above him. He tilted his head back and watched as they flew out into the vast skies. From the distance, he saw a flock of sparrows quack at each other. He chuckled before he continued his aimless walk. "Come on, Nidorina! Dodge it, Caterpie!" Red heard the cries of young Pokemon trainer battle it out on the wide field. His eyes stuck closely on their battle. He checked the time on his Pokegear and sighed with a smile. He still had time. He wandered off the path and sat down on the hill connected to the path and the field. It was pretty much a miniature cliff, so to speak. "String shot, Caterpie! No, Nidorina!" He observed the two trainers. The Nidorina was caught in a sticky string of silk caused by Caterpie. Nidorina's trainer tried to get his Pokemon to break free. Caterpie's trainer giggled and spun around. Her skirt flowed gracefully as it floated back down against her legs. I win! She shouted. "No, you don't. You haven't won yet. One of your Pokemon has to faint first, dummy," he retorted. He saw the girl put her hands on her hips roughly. He would have thought she would punch herself in the side or something. "Hey, I'm not a dummy!" she shrilled. The little boy rolled his eyes. "Yeah, you are a dummy. When she didn't say anything, Red got a little worried. Thoughts were going off in his head. Was she going to cry? Was she crying right now? What about a temper tantrum? The little girl stuck her hand out and pointed at the boy. "Caterpie, string shot him now!" Red winced as the boy shouted in terror. Caterpie's string shot binded him tightly, leaving his head out, however. He was wrapped up like a cocoon. "That must suck," he said quietly. He saw that nothing much would come of interest to him now that the children were having their little spat. He decided to leave before it became cumbersome. He wasn't exactly in the mood to be trapped by string shot. He's been frozen before, obviously, but he would rather remain free and moving. He hopped back onto the dirt road, though now that he's got very clear mind, he looked around and realized he was fairly close to Professor Oak's lab, his fingers idly wrapped against one another. He was pretty tempted to head on over there, but he knew that if he wasn't back home on time, he won't have any breakfast.